Hello, my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach and the host of the Take Your Life Back Today show. As an addiction recovery coach, I want to share something with you and let me leave an everlasting impact upon you. Just imagine being buried alive. You're in a coffin, but you know you're not dead. You don't know how to get out of that coffin, so you start trying to lift the lid, but the enormous weight of the dirt upon the lid prevents you from opening that coffin. Then you think maybe if I bang on the lid, it'll unsettle the dirt and somebody will start digging their way down towards me. This is what it's like to feel at the lowest point of alcohol and drug addiction. You know you need help, you know you can't do it on your own, but you don't know where to turn. In reality, there are people probably laying there, or I should say standing there, waiting to try to help you. You just don't know that. You just think you're going to die. Usually, though, you don't think about death when you're at the lowest point of alcohol and drug addiction. In order to feed an addiction, you have to be great at repressing the fear of death. I often ask you, my audience, did it ever cross your mind that while you were abusing drugs and alcohol, that you take away what Lord Jesus Christ gave you, and that's called life, away from you? More selfishly, you take it away from your children, your grandchildren, your husband, your wife, your mother, your father. With this, let me leave one last thought. Don't be the person that's on these index cards that didn't ask for help, that waited and waited and waited until it was too late. Instead, be the person that calls me at 844-405-HELP. That's 844-405-HELP, and let me help you take back your life before you end up like this and it's gone. There are other people like Larry Geis from the Geis Academy at 516-458-2741. Larry Geis and I always tell folks like you, it doesn't matter where you came from, it doesn't matter where you've been. What matters most is that you're here seeking help. Remind you, Larry Geis can be found at www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry Geis and I always tell folks like you, it is time to make a change, and the best time is to do it now. But we want to remind you that each and every time that Larry and I and thousands of other life coaches and addiction recovery coaches are just sheer crutches. We will help you through recovery and sobriety. However, the Lord Jesus is the only one that can help you through life. It is up to you to reach for your higher power and to reach for Larry and I and thousands of other life coaches, and we'll come together and make a whole human out of you. Step by step. We'll teach you how to live in recovery, how to live with sobriety. God will teach you and work with you and plant in your heart how to be a better human. It all starts today by calling Larry at 516-458-2741. Larry Geis from the Geis Academy. Folks, don't forget, please, when you take your slippers off tonight, before you climb into your bed, push them under your bed. That way in the morning when you wake up, you drop to your knees and you retrieve those slippers to put them on your feet to go to the bathroom to shower up. While you're on your knees, just give a quick prayer, or a long one, and thank God for another beautiful day. Thank God for the family and the roof over your head. Thank God for having mercy upon you and your family and having mercy upon human nature. Thank God for each and everything that is a positive in your life, and ask God for each and everything that's a negative in your life to guide and direct you the best way to make the negative into positive. Speaking of that, we're going to talk about what makes family functional versus dysfunctional. Let's adjust this. The other day I was responding to someone who was dreading the holidays with her dysfunctional family. It got me thinking about the word dysfunctional and how it implies that there is an opposite, functional family somewhere out there. What does that look like? I said to myself. What does a functional family look like? A perfect family. Some Stepford-like pod of people who never fight, that are always neat and smiling. Yeesh, that sounds horrible. In fact, it sounds downright dysfunctional to me. So what is a functional family? How do we know if we have a functional family? How do we define a functional family? The study of family dynamics, family therapy, and treatment are complex and whole field of psychology in itself. While I don't have all the answers, I do have some thoughts. These impressions come as much as from my experience as from education and training in dealing with family issues, life issues, and addiction issues. No family is perfect. We all know that, even functioning ones. My family of origin was what I'd call dysfunctional, functional, Nah, maybe more functional than dysfunctional. From what I learned, as much as what not to do as opposite. In my work with couples and counseling other people, and I don't deal with a lot of people as far as couples, but just counseling other people, talking about everyday things, whether it's addictions, life issues, self-esteem, or depression. I see what works, and I also see what doesn't work. So here's my personal list of qualities that make up a family that functions. It's unscientific, but it's a good place to start in discussion. Functional families encourage and provide. Number one on my list is always going to be a simple RESPECT. Respect is the holy grail of functional families. All people in the family, brothers and sisters, mothers to fathers, parents to kids, must be respectful and consistently tell each other and show the respect as possible. Being considerate to one of each other is the tie that binds, even more than love. I think too much emphasis is put on love in general. I've heard many atrocities done with families in the name of love, but never in the name of respect. Just about all the things on the list come out of respect. An emotional, safe environment. All members of the family can state their opinions, thoughts, wants, dreams, desires, feelings without fear of being slammed, shamed, belittled, or dismissed. Number three, the resilient foundation. When relationships between and amongst people in the family are healthy, they can withstand stress, even trauma, and if not bounce back, at least recover. Resilience starts with encouraging sound health, eating and sleeping well, and physical activity. Number four is privacy. Privacy of space, of body, and of thought. Knock and ask permission to enter before going through a closed door all the time. All family members are sensitive regarding personal space and aren't insulted if someone needs a wide berth. Number five, accountability. Being accountable is not the same as planting a homing device in your kid or abusing a cell phone to track her whereabouts 24/7. That's not much better than stalking. No, being accountable is, again, a respectful thing. Respect and reasonable informing people in the family where you are and what you're doing is so they can grow trust and not always worry about you. An apology. It's sad when people hold out for an apology on the point of pride, never acknowledging their part in the dispute. How many times have you heard of rifts in the families that last for years because someone feels they are owed an apology and the other person feels that they're above that? Number six, a functional family will have conflict. It's very cool when we can get an argument and get the other side of still a friendly conversation and satisfied with the outcome either which way. But let's face it, that's not always the case. Sometimes those arguments can turn brutal. Sometimes we can say things that we regret. We can feel and show remorse for our part. Quickly apologize, ask for and receive forgiveness. No harm is done. You may even become closer for it. Number seven, allow reasonable expression of emotions. When I was growing up, I wasn't allowed to be angry at my parents, and my father would walk out on me if I cried. I was determined to not do that to my kids. It hasn't been easy. The main thing for me is that to teach them to state their anger in a managed manner, and to teach myself not to fly off the handle when they do that. I had to learn that they're telling me they weren't happy with something I did or I might have said. Maybe that could be done with respect as well. Anyway, it's very importantly that you do it vice versa. And number eight, gentle on teasing and sarcasm. Teasing can be okay as long as teased is on the joke. Same with sarcasm. A functional family won't use either a poorly masked put down or a masked one. Number eight, allow people to change and grow. It used to be that people in the family were labeled the smart one or the pretty one, the funny one or the shy one, while that's not done so overtly anymore. Labeling is still something to watch, however. A functional family lets people define themselves. Individual differences are appreciated, even celebrated. It also lets the kids become independent when it's appropriate. and come back to the safety of the family when they meet. Nurturing. Number 10, the adults in the family need to be allowed to grow up as well. A mother may want to get a graduate degree, or a father may decide to retire early and start something new, maybe even a talk show like I have. These changes merit discussion on how they will affect everyone in the family. Adjustments, perhaps, sometimes negotiations, but again, if done with respect, anyone can be satisfied. Parents work as co-parenting team. I strongly believe that a functional family is one where the adults are in the center of the family, in charge, and pulling together in the same direction. In a functional family, parents, divorced or married, take responsibility. Kids need the assurance that a firm hand, not too tight, not too loose, is at the tiller, even if they may not thank you for it at the end. Courtesy at home first. An ounce of well-placed please or thank you, or you're welcome, or I'm sorry, is worth a pound of explanation, defensive arguments, and misunderstandings. Encourages siblings to work together. Brothers and sisters have a unique relationship, and it's dead shame that parents encourage siblings to play, work, and problem solve together. Enhance inter-sib communication instead of interfering with their arguments. That way siblings feel empowered, that their bond is closer when they find solution by themselves. Provides clear boundaries. We aren't each other's friends. A parent no matter how friendly may be or not. Our children are not extension of ourselves. They are individuals with their own mind. Do not friend them on Facebook unless you talk about it first and say it's okay and you mean it. Families has each other's backs. Part of resilience, being supportive to each other no matter what, will allow your kid to call you when he thinks he's in trouble, like needing a ride home from a party that's gotten maybe just too wild. Get each other's sense of humor. Functional families laugh a lot. They have inside jokes and favorite stories. And memories shared to the light of reinforces healthy bond. Eat meals together. Super important one, folks. So hard to do in today's society, but research shows that communication within a family is enhanced if we take more meals together, even if it's in front of a television. Follow this golden rule. It's a golden for a reason. Treat each other as we wish to be treated in turn. It was true way back when, and it's still true now. Almost like the saying from the Bible, do unto your neighbor as you would have done unto you. The golden rule was and still is, treat each other as we wish to be treated in turn. And remember the family time. I always say that family dinners together allows communication to happen at the table. Folks, remember, slippers under the bed tonight. In the morning, drop to your knees, retrieve those slippers, thank the Lord for another beautiful day on this beautiful earth, and thank the Lord for all the things that you have that are going great in your life, all the positive things that are going great in your life, and pray to the Lord to help you with the negative things, because those negatives can turn into positives with the power of the Lord. The power of prayer is so strong. No national figurehead, no president in the world, no king in the world is more powerful than the power of prayer through Jesus Christ. I hope to God that you all have a good day, a great life, a sober life, and may you remember to please pray, because the power of prayer will set you free.